In this video, I'm gonna be going through how I apply my stencils to the fake skin. The fake skin we're gonna be using is real skin. This is the fake skin that I recommend beginners use, as it really gets them used to knowing how deep they need to go into the skin. And this is what we use for all of our apprentices. We've used other thicker pieces of fake skin, and you can still see like the cuts and stuff if apprentices are going too deep into the skin. But this, we feel like, sets the apprentices up to know what tattooing on a person is kind of gonna feel like, because really tattooing on people is gonna be different from all different types of fake skin, but this is gonna be what we think is the closest. So I'm going to be showing you how I go about applying the stencil. This skin is going to be about 2, sometimes ranges between 2 and 3 millimeters thick. So what we're gonna do today, usually tattoo artists, when they're applying stencils, they're going to use stencil stuff, okay? I don't recommend, or you can use stencil stuff for this, but I personally don't like using stencil stuff for this, just because the liquid is, if you're gonna use it, you only need a tiny drop, but you have to make sure that this is wet enough to where the stencil is going to apply. So it can be a little bit harder to use and know exactly how much of it you need to use. So I recommend using speed stick, or you can use any type of gel deodorant. And I will go ahead, open this up, and what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put a good layer of the speed stick on there, okay? I'm gonna go across pretty much the entire surface, kind of back and forth, and I wanna get it kind of wet. This makes it a little bit easier to manage rather than having the stencil stuff kind of smearing everywhere. So once I have that, I'm gonna make sure you do it around pretty much the entire area so that you don't miss any parts of your stencil. Then of course, you have to have your stencil printed out. This is what we're gonna be putting on this skin. And then, once you have this cut out, you wanna just place it down gently as possible. You don't wanna place it and then come back up, because you don't want it to accidentally transfer somewhere you don't want it. I'm now gonna press it down with my hand. Sometimes if you overdo it with this, sometimes you'll get like a smear with your stencil. So you wanna try to prevent that. We may have some spots in here when we look at it that it did. But with the real skin, the stencils will come out pretty light, okay? So I try to put a good amount so that it is a little bit darker. And before I show you what the stencil looks like on the fake skin, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It encourages me to continue making these videos, and it helps the channel out a ton and boost the visibility of the channel overall. With that being said, let's get to the video. So once you place that down and leave it on for a couple seconds, we're now going to remove this. All right, and we can see that our stencil has transferred. And then now what I do is I pretty much just let this dry for 24 hours a minimum. After 24 hours, you're gonna be able to easily tattoo this without rubbing away the stencil super easily. If I were to take down here and then rub that, you can see that that's smeared after just a little touch. So if you need to move it, you wanna try to do that now. So you can either take like petroleum jelly, or you can spray it down with some alcohol and just wipe it down really good, because the longer you let it sit, the more likely it is that it's not going to come off. So this past week, one of my apprentices ended up leaving their stencil on the fake skin for over a week. So when they came back, it pretty much, that stencil was not going anywhere. Like if you leave it on for longer than 48 hours, even when you go to tattoo it, the stencil is you're still gonna see the stencil. So it's important that you only leave it on for the 48 hours max, I would say. If you do end up leaving it on for longer, no big deal. You're just gonna have the stencil underneath the tattoo that you do. So to get rid of the stencil, you're gonna have to bleach the real skin, so that the bleach will help get rid of that purple residue from the stencil staying for too long. I hope you gained value out of this video, and maybe you're a new tattoo artist, or maybe you're an established artist and in your apprenticeship, you never went over what the stroke of a tattoo machine is. I made a video on it explaining exactly what the stroke of a tattoo machine is. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'm gonna leave that here for you to go and check that out and watch the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.